If you want to level up your life and unlock the hottest, highest, and happiest version of yourself, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to today's episode of Hot and Unbothered. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my podcast. If you're new here, my name is Brianna Gomez, your host of Hot and Unbothered, the ultimate podcast for leveling up your life, unlocking the dream ideal version of you, the person that's on your Pinterest boards, the person that you are visualizing. We're going to speed that process up and turn that into reality today. There's a reason why you found this video. There's a reason why you stumbled upon it, came across it. There's a reason why you felt called to click on it. So while you're here, if you're committed to the cause and becoming the hottest, highest version of yourself, go ahead and hit the follow button on the podcast. Join us. I also have a group chat on Instagram. My Instagram is at Brianna Gomez with 2 B's. I'll link it for you guys so we could all stay in touch and build a little hot and unbothered girly community. But we're going to dive into today's episode because let me tell you, it's a juicy one. It's pretty important, I'm not gonna lie. But before we dive into today's episode, you guys know I love to share a podcast review. Today we have Seda. She said, "Hi Bri, my name is Seda and I am 13. At this age, it's hard to be confident and have good and healthy friendships. I found your podcast and it's so amazing. I have problems with my fake friends and how they betrayed me, but you helped me so much. I really appreciate it." You are a literal angel, Seda. All of you guys who listen to this, seriously, all of your comments, your replies, warm my heart to the max. But let me just say, 13 is an age where I feel like you feel like when things are happening and going wrong, it feels like the end of the world. But honestly, I really, really promise you it's not. When I was 13, I had like my boyfriend break up with me and drama with my friends and all this stuff. And it was like, girl, I am fine. And so I think that really just goes to show when you think you are going through the worst moment in your life, it always, always gets better. And there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like 13 is a lot of change, a lot of navigating life, learning lessons for the first time, dealing with drama, boys, fake friends. For a lot of people, the first time they will deal with that. And it's hard and it feels like a lot. I have an episode specifically about fake friends, and today I will be diving into a lot of confidence related things. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for that comment, and everything will be okay. And I've got a lot of advice for you, so stay tuned. So speaking of confidence, today I went to an event, and this event was an influencer quotation event. For content creators, I've been invited to a few of these in my time. No, seriously, but I actually have. I've been doing content for a while, so I get to go to some pretty cool events. Not as many as like the super famous influencers go to, but I have gone to my fair share of events, and I love events. I almost will never pass up an event because I just think PR events are so fun. I love the photo ops. There's free food, gifts, drinks sometimes, photo ops. So why would you not go? Anyway, this one in particular event, that was today, they said I could not bring a +1 unless maybe if they were a content creator, they could see if they have room in the list. I do not have another like super close beauty, lifestyle, fashion creator friend who lives nearby to me. And so I was like, I guess I'm going alone. And instead of not going at all, I decided I was going to go alone, which is a big, big step for me. Okay. Big step. Because a lot of people I know would not have done that. And younger me, oh my gosh, I would never have done that. Are you kidding me? Show up to a place full of not even just like regular people who we don't know, but like influencers and creators who sometimes have really big or intimidating personalities. Luckily, I had a good experience. I didn't deal with any like influencer bullies or anything. That would have been crazy. But I will say the social media space of content creators and influencers can be very intimidating sometimes because everyone just looks so perfect. And I'm not saying like you have to look perfect. I'm just saying when you go to these events, you can tell the outfits, the hair, the makeup is so perfectly calculated and everyone just came to show up and show out because it's an Instagram or like influencer event. Of course, they're going to look cute. They're going to be taking pictures, getting content, getting videos. Of course, they came here to look cute. So everyone is looking their cutest. And if I don't feel cute and I don't feel confident, it's like, I want to go home. I want to do this day over. And I wish I did my makeup, hair, and outfit all differently. So it's very easy for one on regular social media for your confidence to kind of take that hit, take that impact. But it's a whole nother playing field when you are basically scrolling through your For You page, but in real life. It's kind of terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. There was one girl I knew, but she had another event to go to, so she was only there for like 20 minutes. I got to be with her for even less than that. So then she left and I was all on my own. And I stayed at this event by myself for almost the whole time, and I was just walking around by myself. I was taking pictures. I talked to some people, not that many, and then when my social battery died, I sat down on the couch by myself. And normally that would be the most embarrassing thing, to sit down on a couch alone, eating something alone, drinking a drink alone. I used to be super duper shy also. When I was in middle school and all the years before that, my sister was the outgoing one, and she would literally have to talk for the two of us growing up because I was so shy and quiet, and like my voice would shake when I stood up to present in class, or if I got called on, like my palms would be sweaty. Literally, I hated it all. I hated public speaking. I hated the spotlight. No, not for me. And that's not to say I didn't have like the desire to be in the spotlight or to do something like what I'm doing right now one day, but I was so shy and I just didn't want anyone to know me or my voice or anything. So if you would have told younger me that I was at this event just doing my thing, literally not giving a fuck about what anyone was saying, doing, thinking of me, literally did not matter. Like, I felt like maybe people were looking at me, but I really didn't care. And I was like, I'm never gonna see these people ever again, even though I probably will at other events. But really, like, who cares? I'm just sitting by myself, and there's nothing weird about sitting alone. I used to cry almost when I saw like an old person, especially, but anybody like sitting and eating alone. I thought that was so sad, and I instantly felt bad and sympathetic towards them, when in reality, like, they could just be enjoying their meal by themselves and it's not sad for them because they're actually comfortable being alone. What a crazy thought. Yeah. Anyways, that's my kind of preface into today. We're talking about confidence, and a lot of you guys suggest this topic. I have an episode about confidence, but I really want to dive into it today because that was a few months ago, and I really didn't emphasize the fact that I used to be shy as fuck. I used to hate talking to people. I didn't want to make new friends. Like, I had my friends that I had, and I had my sister and my family, and it was like that. And I didn't want to go meet other people. And growing up, like, if my sister wasn't next to me, I would be like, like, all scared. And again, my sister would talk for the both of us. And if I got called on in class or if I had to present, like, end of the world, guys. I hated it. I hated it so badly. I was so shy. I would never, ever go up to somebody and introduce myself and be like, hey, want to be friends? When literally, that's what I did today. I literally, when I got to the event, I valeted my car because there's free valet. And then there was a girl pulling up next to me and I was like, this is perfect. And I just kind of turned around and I was like, hi, oh my gosh, your outfit is so cute. Because it was, she was wearing all pink, and I was like complimenting her. I was like, I love it. And I wasn't even lying because I loved the outfit. Obviously, she was going to the event. I didn't even have to ask. I was just like, oh, like, let's walk in together, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. And then we just talked about the weather and we talked about other things, and then we were inside the building, and I didn't walk into the event alone because I made a friend. Her name was Jeannie. We did not exchange Instagrams, but her outfit was really cute. Anyway, this is all to say that it's not as scary as it seems, and even if you are super duper shy right now in the moment, it does not mean you're stuck like that, okay? And one, it's not a bad thing to be shy. It's not a bad thing to be introverted, okay? That is not a negative thing. It's another thing when you let that take a toll on your confidence. So the important thing is you don't have to be talking to people 24/7 and be super social butterfly because, oh my gosh, that can be so draining sometimes. But just overall, learning to not be afraid of what people think of you. That is my top tip for becoming confident. You have to work on your self-concept. Self-concept in a nutshell, and I have so many episodes about self-concept, but it's about how you perceive yourself and the idea that however you view yourself is how other people will view you as well. So if you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh, like I feel so shy, I feel so nervous, like what if I'm not dressed appropriately? I hope people like me. Everyone else is going to pick up on that energy. Energy is so insanely transferable. It's crazy. So if you walk into an event, for example, like mine today, if I walked in and I was like, my body language is huge. If my arms are crossed and if I'm looking around all nervous and if I'm like, I don't know, biting my nails, like something so scared and timid, everyone will know. Everyone will be like, ooh, that girl is she does not look confident. But if I just walked in like I did today, kept my head up, felt cute, acted like I knew where I was going, acted like I knew the people I was talking to when I really did not. No one knew the difference though. And I just walked in and I started taking pictures of things and I started looking around at everything like, wow, it's so cute, and just making my videos, making my content. Literally no one gave two fucks. And I looked like I belonged there. And I did feel like I belonged there too, because I wasn't scared, because I was like, I'm literally here to make content. Why would I be afraid right now? Self-concept lies within a whole nother level of self-love. So I highly suggest you listen to my self-love and self-concept falling in love with yourself episode, because that one is so important, because truly being in love with yourself really, really does make or break the way you are able to perceive yourself and, validate yourself using your own approval and not that of others. Being hot has so much to do with your energy, and I talk about this a lot in the very first Hot and Unbothered episode, but just how being hot is quite literally believing you are hot. Believing you are the shit. You walk into the room like God himself sent you, okay? You are literally heaven sent. You are the hottest shit in the room that this planet has ever seen, and people will just pick up on that energy because it's so magnetic. It really has nothing to do with what you look like. So learning how to set your energy and your vibes right, and making sure your self-concept is so strong and secure that anything anyone else can say or do does not conflicts with that. And self-concept is super helpful in that aspect of cutting the ties between yourself and that worry and concern with what other people think about you. I feel like it's so common these days, and I struggle with it some days too, so I'm not blaming you, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it either, but it's so common and easy to just be so worried over what other people are thinking. We have become so attached to the outside opinions of literally random strangers. Think of comments on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of the things, the hate, or even like if you're posting a picture and you have to ask your friend first, like, is this picture cute? Do you think this is cute? Like, what should my caption be? Like, girl, you are the only thing that matters. You are the only validation that you need. You don't need it from 50 other people. You don't need anyone else's approval but your own. But I feel like in this day and age, we become so obsessed with what other people think that it's almost scary to take the slightest step out of our comfort zone. So that's another tip. Stop seeking approval from others. The next time you catch yourself trying to get someone else's opinion, and it's one thing if it's like, oh, like, do you like this dress or this dress? And you're completely neutral about it. Like, little things like that are fine. But when it comes down to quite literally being afraid of what people think about you when you walk into a room, like, I hope he doesn't think I'm weird. I hope she doesn't think I talk too much, I'm annoying, or I hope he doesn't think I'm nervous or shy or whatever. Like, guys, who cares? Because their perception of you can stay in their head. It doesn't affect you, okay? Your perception of you is the only one that matters. And the reason why it matters is because you know what's true. Who cares what someone else thinks, because they will never know what's right or wrong? You write your own story. You decide the kind of person you want to show up as. And if you want to show up as that confident bitch, show up as that confident bitch. But if you're going to be all timid and unsure of yourself and insecure, that's how other people will pick up on you. But you have to stop caring what others think, because they can sense that so much. If you are just living your life constantly trying to live it for other people, trying to fit someone else's mold, fit their aesthetic, fit their lifestyle, or if you're trying to fit into somebody else's life because you want to, make them like you or fall in love with you or be their friend, whatever, you will never be happy. Literally ever. And this goes with even the little things. If you're changing your hair color so a certain person likes it, if you're dressing a certain way so that guy will start liking you, you will never be happy, because that's not the true you. So why would you even want to be bending over backwards in order to gain someone else's approval for something that isn't even actually true to yourself? Like, that's not even actually you. So why would you need someone else's approval for it? And I promise you this, you will never be happy if you keep seeking that outside validation constantly, because seeking that validation is so exhausting. But I feel like that act of us trying to meet someone else's needs and expectations, that comes from a place within ourselves that's unsure of who we are. So I really want you to dig deep and ask yourself, who am I? And who's the kind of person that I want to be? What are my morals? What are my characteristics? My best personality traits? What do the people who know me best, what do they think of me? And what do I think of myself? Really dig deep, learn to spend time with yourself and ask yourself these hard questions so that you're not looking for someone else who's totally random and insignificant to your life to answer them for you. And then eventually you build that relationship with yourself. You nurture that relationship. You build up your confidence in your self-concept. Eventually you are so sure of who you are that you don't need to hear a single word from anybody else. And I feel like a lot of times some people are really curious what other people are thinking of them. But the truth is, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you because their perception of you also has to do with their own thoughts in their brain. People are like mirrors. They like to reflect, they like to project, and a lot of that can stem from jealousy. If someone is like, oh my gosh, that Bri girl, like she is so annoying, with the way she is on social media and thinking she's famous and whatever, that person is 99% probably jealous of me. Maybe they wanted to be a content creator. Maybe they wanted a podcast. Maybe they wanted a following or, community of some sort. So pay attention to who your haters are because that's another really clear way to tell who else is insecure and actually jealous of the things that you have and they don't. Everyone else's perception of you is based off of their mood, their trauma, their own personal experiences, the way they feel towards you. That has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. So if someone doesn't like you or get along with you, you also have to learn how to just take that and be like, okay, why would you try to force someone to like you or be your friend if they don't like you? You know what I mean? What's the point in that? And I feel like I was always so attached to that people pleaser kind of side. I just wanted everyone to like me. I wanted to be everybody's friend. I didn't want to upset anyone. I just wanted to remain neutral in all situations, make everybody happy, when really that's not the case. There are billions and billions of people in the world and you think you're going to get along with everybody. You think everyone's going to like you. It does not matter. So release that control, learn the law of detachment, learn to detach from the outcome and just let what is meant to be. And everyone's opinions of you are based on assumptions, but they don't know the true truth. You are the only one who knows the full truth. And all of these people who you're so concerned of what they think about you and how they're going to interact with you, all of their opinions towards you are based off of solely assumption. So why should that even mean anything to you? They don't even know you at all. So why would their opinion even matter? Because it's incorrect. And we become so used to that instant gratification. So I think that plays a major role, the likes and the comments and the sends and everything. You want that approval so badly. It literally triggers that little reflex chemical in our brain. And that's why we're so thirsty for validation and approval and this external opinion when it's so unhealthy for us. It truly is. A huge tip I have for confidence also is to quite literally date yourself. And I think this is the most helpful also when you're going into relationships, because if you enter a relationship and you're not sure of who you aren't confident, you don't love yourself, you will never be able to have a healthy relationship. Truly. You truly will not, because then you are now entering the relationship as a half being. You are not a whole because you aren't truly fully in love with yourself. So now you're a half entering a relationship with probably another half, and you guys are going to try to make a whole together. That is the example of a codependent relationship, two halves making a whole. A healthy, stable relationship should have a good amount of independency, meaning you are each whole and grown and healed on your own, and it's two wholes coming together to make a beautiful relationship, but you're not completing each other. But when you are insecure within yourself, when you don't love yourself and you haven't perfected your self-concept in that true relationship with yourself, that's when you become codependent on someone else, and you will never have a healthy relationship, and you will always be begging for more. You will always feel like you're not good enough, and you will always feel like you're not getting enough validation or enough love or enough attention because you didn't give it to yourself. Self-love plays a huge role in obviously the way that strangers' opinions affect you, but even in relationships and friendships. You need to love yourself because it also has a huge role to play in, standing up for yourself when you're not being treated correctly, or, making sure that you're communicating things effectively instead of just being a doormat that you let people walk all over and just being quiet. That's not how it works. Anyway, let's get more into social setting type things because I know this is for the shy girls, a lot of you. So being shy, people are not born confident. let's just say that people are not born confident. I was not born confident. And I feel like when someone has a certain level of confidence, everyone just assumes they've had it their whole life and it comes super naturally to them. But personally, for me, like, I'm just talking to you guys right now. But when I go to events, my social battery gets really, really drained. And I actually have a super big introverted side. It depends on kind of what phase I'm in. But right now, I'm definitely in my introverted era. And I had no issue sitting at the event not talking to anybody, which is really bad because I probably should have been networking. So now that we went over what confidence is, how it's affected, where it stems from, I want to tell you guys my best tips that I have for easy fixes to appear more confident and help practice confidence and self-concept in your daily life. Wear clothes and makeup that make you feel confident in your own skin. Again, don't do it because someone else told you to. Don't do it because the cool kids are doing it. Do things and wear things that fit your body, that make you feel confident, that make you feel comfortable. Like, you want to feel like you look in the mirror and you're like, this is me and I am rocking it and I feel so myself in this. You don't want to be wearing something where you're like, ugh. Like, what is this? I would never pick this out for myself. There are so many little aspects like that play into your confidence that I feel like people don't even think about. Really quickly, you guys, I just wanted to announce that I have new colors out of my clothing line. I now have it in white and black. There's a white lace halter and mini skirt built-in shorts, and also a black one. And then, of course, the iconic baby pink one, the original. It has the bow in the back that can also tie as a scarf, as well as the little bow on the skirt. And it's all sustainably made by hand in Brooklyn. And it's only available for a couple more weeks. So definitely recommend getting that while you guys can before it sells out. But I'm so excited. This is something that I've always dreamed of working on. If you guys are interested, definitely check it out. Also, to be more confident, truly taking your time to get ready in the morning. I know confidence is not based off of solely looks. It's actually mainly mental, like I said. However, when you do take, an extra 5 minutes to get ready in the morning so you're not rushing, and it's the time to pick out an outfit that you want, or, really take your time on your skincare routine just to have that morning regimen with yourself, do your hair in your favorite hairstyle, things like that. It actually makes such a difference in my confidence levels. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I feel cuter. I hate the days where I'm like looking in the mirror and I'm like constantly fixing my hair and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so frizzy today, or my makeup's bad and I just, I don't feel cute. And even if you are having that one of those days, try not to let people know. Don't obsess over it. Don't obsess over your looks and being so worried about what people will think of the way you look, because that's just giving insecure and timid. But just roll with it. Even if you don't look good that day, if you don't feel your best, there's most likely nothing you can do to change that. So stick it out. You'll do better tomorrow. A huge, huge, huge crucial thing I'm trying to implement more is to never accept a negative comment to yourself. Never affirm that in reality. So if you catch yourself saying like, oh, I'm so dumb, wrong. You're not dumb. Would a confident person call themselves dumb? That's a mean term. And I want you to take that back. And anytime you accidentally say something negative like that, I want you to take it back and I want you to reverse it. And now that you called yourself dumb, I'm going to need you to tell me about that AP class that you passed, that test that you aced, that job that you're really good at, and how intelligent and smart you truly, truly are. And that brings me into positive affirmation. Positive self-talk is so powerful, and you're probably rolling your eyes right now, and I don't want to hear it. It's so powerful, you guys. The act of literally, you don't even have to look in the mirror, but if you do, extra points for sure. But looking in the mirror at yourself and being like, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am worthy of good things, I deserve the best kind of love, I am confident, I am radiant, I am invincible, things like that. Literally, whatever adjectives you can think of, tell them to yourself. The good ones, obviously. Again, this will teach you that you don't need to hear it from everybody else because you're telling yourself. And even if it feels silly in the moment, you need to be feeding these to your brain subconsciously. Your brain is subconsciously eating up these compliments and affirmations that you're giving to yourself. And the more you tell it to yourself, the more your brain will believe that it's true. The more that you believe that it's true, the more you will walk around with that energy. But you'll walk around with this certain energy and vibe that literally comes from those affirmations that your brain is subconsciously taking in, that positivity. Like, don't say, I can't do this. Don't say, I'm so nervous. Today I was going to my event and my boyfriend was like, are you nervous? And I was like, I'm proud of myself for going. Like, it's my first event going to it by myself, but I'm still proud of myself for going because I am. And that brings me to my next tip. Step outside your comfort zone for the love of God, you guys. Your comfort zone is holding you back. That's the reason why it's called a comfort zone. But your couch is the comfort zone and you shouldn't stay there all day. We weren't meant to stay stagnant. We weren't meant to do only the things that we felt comfortable and safe doing, because then you'd be doing the same things for your entire life. And I don't mean you have to go skydiving or jump off a cliff. Like, I'm saying things like going to social outings that, you didn't really expect to. For example, my event today. I didn't really expect to do that, but it was like a career event or work event, technically, for social media networking, you could say. I'm not saying you have to, go out and go clubbing even on nights you don't feel like it. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying give in to peer pressure. But if there's something that's harmless and you do want to go, but you're just a little nervous to, talk yourself into going. I feel like we instantly psych ourselves out and you're like, nope, I'm not going. You don't even give your brain a chance to kind of rationalize or even think of the possibility of going. But if you just show up, that's what counts. Show up to that event, show up to that thing that you're scared to do. And if you don't like it, you could leave, but at least show up for yourself. One thing I always say is you will never regret showing up for yourself. You will never regret the days that you pushed yourself to do something that you didn't really feel like doing, most likely, in safe context. Stepping outside of your comfort zone really does help develop your confidence, and it's like exposure therapy. I know everyone's so scared, and here's a funny example, actually. So I went to the gym with my friend, and she is a shy gym girly. I also was a shy gym girly when I first started going, and then obviously over time, I'm less shy. I don't consider myself like a pro gym rat or anything like that, but I'm definitely way less shy than I was, and I can actually like use the machines on the strength floor, or at least some of them. I don't use all of them because sometimes I do get shy when they're crowded. Anyway, my friend is super gym shy, so she hasn't even gotten the chance to try the machines at her gym. So I went with her to her gym and we were doing exposure therapy. She had never gone like in front of people to get on the machines and stuff like that. And I was like, girl, we got to do it. So I'm having her do these crazy motions and movements on the machines in front of people. And it's funny because at first she's like embarrassed. And so then what I start doing to prove to her that no one's looking is I start making crazy faces. I start making these silliest, craziest, goofiest, ugliest faces. And I'm like, watch. No one's looking. So as we're working out and we're standing in the middle of the gym on the equipment, I'm just standing there making like crazy faces. I don't even want to show you guys, but like crazy facial expressions so that I could prove to her there's nothing to be afraid of. And even if somebody saw me making those faces, one, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't be mad about it. I would never see them again. And secondly, no one even like batted a single eye. Not a single head even turned in the slightest. No one cared. No one noticed. So that just goes to show, when you feel like all eyes are on you and you're so nervous and everyone's watching you and you're shy and you're embarrassed and you're scared, not a single soul in the gym was looking at us. Not a single person. I'm making all these crazy faces and doing all these crazy things and movements. No one cares. And I felt like I just had to do something silly like that to kind of lighten up the mood and show her and myself that literally no one cares. And that's another good tip. Honestly, if you're feeling nervous, like, make a joke out of it. Literally learn to laugh at yourself. If you get caught in an embarrassing situation, like, I don't know, you trip or fall or something, instead of being like, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing, and hyperfixating on it and replaying it again and again and again in your head, thinking of all the things you could have done differently. Yeah, I know how that goes. That happens to me too. Just let it go. Detach from that, okay? Stop hyperfixating on it. Stop playing that in your head over and over again and worrying about it and worrying about who saw it and what everyone's going to think and thinking that you're never going to be able to live this one down. Like, you're fine. Guys, I've had so many embarrassing things happen to me. I have fallen into pools at parties, drunk, like with my clothes on. Let me just tell you an embarrassing story so that you can hear how silly this was and how I thought it was the end of the world and now it actually doesn't matter, okay? I'm at this party and I'm drunk, and my boyfriend, my now boyfriend, but at the time he was just like the guy that I liked but I wasn't talking to anymore, but I just like obviously liked him still and had strong feelings for him. I get so drunk, okay? And he's there and we're not really talking and I'm trying to like, act natural. I fall into the fucking pool, not once, but twice because I'm so drunk. Yeah, this is in my feral era phase that I always talk about, that I literally did not love myself during that era because I was actually in self-destruct mode. But anyway, yeah, fell into the pool 2 times with my clothes on, with my chunky naked wolf sneakers on, my socks on, everything on. It's a pool party, but mind you, it's the pool parties where no one's in the pool. Like the influencer event I went to today, not a single soul was in the pool. And same at this party. And it's all people from our high school are here, but it's after high school. It's like a fucking reunion. And this is like first party of the summer, my first single party. Like no one's seen me in so long. And I decided that for this theme, it was Hawaiian theme, and I was wearing this top and it wasn't very flattering. There's no padding in this bikini top. So I was like, I'm going to put on a sticky bra, sticky boobs underneath this bathing suit to just help like make it less see-through, make it more flattering, because it just wasn't doing me any favors. And I was like, no one swims at pool parties. I'm not going to go in. It doesn't matter. I fall into the pool and I'm drunk and I'm waiting around and everyone's like, oh my God, Brianna fell into the pool. The sticky boobs float up to the surface, you guys. Float up to the surface, and one of the guys grabs it and he's like, Brianna, picks it up in his hand. Brianna, is this yours? My fucking sticky boobs. And I grab them and I like put them in my hand. I'm like, yeah, thank you so much for that. Yeah, and at the time there was even more embarrassing stuff that happened. I thought I would never live it down, and now I can laugh about it. It's safe to say I can laugh about it. I still cringe at those moments, but if I did not have a certain level of confidence at that time, it would have been a lot harder to get over. I know, like, if that would have happened to some other people, I know they would have been like, and never shown their face again. But I'm like, just laugh at it. And now that's honestly one of my favorite stories to tell. I think it's so funny. It's such a hot mess story, and I love it. And I think it's funny, and it was a learning lesson, learning experience to not wear sticky boobs drunk to pool parties. Another huge tip I have is to just smile. And this is a tricky one because sometimes I walk around with like RBF, but honestly, like, just smile and be nice to everybody. Being kind to people is the quickest way to make friends, to come across as outgoing, to meet people at events where you don't know anybody. It's the best icebreaker. Just give somebody a compliment and smile. So easy. I met so many people today just doing that. Literally just being like, I love your outfit. That sounded so fake when I said it, but I actually meant it. And then everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. And I actually had these people who I was taking my content and I was, at first, like, in the back of my head, normal, regular, old me would have been like, I'm scared I look stupid, right? Going around this event by myself, just taking pictures, taking selfies. But I'm at a point where I don't care. And I'm holding out my phone and I'm taking my selfies and I'm getting my content. And anyway, I'm taking these pictures of the view and these people are like, excuse me, like, I'm so sorry. Do you think you could take a picture of us? Which I'm totally fine doing. I love taking pictures of people. And he was so sweet. These people were so sweet. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, you're so pretty. I was like intimidated. And I'm like, oh, I'm intimidating? Love. I don't want to be intimidating. But I'm like, hey, that must mean I come across as knowing what I was doing. Okay? Whatever you're doing, act like you know what you're doing. Fake it till you make it. Another huge aspect of becoming confident is learning to embrace your differences and be grateful for them. And there's certain things, everyone has their own little quirks. I don't know, maybe you have a different color eyeball. Maybe you have, I don't know, something weird about you. And it's something that you try to hide. Like, it's something that you're so embarrassed of, and it's something that you don't want anyone to know. Learn to embrace those quirks and use them to your advantage. God made us all different for a reason. If everyone was like exact carbon copies of each other, that would be so boring. Are you kidding me? That would be so boring. Learn to love being different. You do not want to blend in with the crowd. And I feel like at the time, especially when you're in like high school, middle school, even college, stuff like that, when you're growing up, and I'm not saying I'm fully grown, but as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize when you're younger, everyone wants to be like each other. Everyone is trying to follow all of the trends. They're trying to do what the cool girl's doing or what, whoever they're looking up to is doing. When in reality, it is so much better to be different, to have your own signature style, your own iconic look, your own aesthetic, your own trademark. It's so much cuter and more fun. But it's easy when you're not sure of yourself and who you are to just find yourself not wanting to go against the grain. And in fact, you want to blend in. You want to be as subtle as possible. You want to do what all the other girls are doing. You want to become one with the herd. Learn to love standing out. That's a huge piece of advice I have. Learn to love standing out. You should not be constantly downplaying yourself and your personality, holding back your interests, holding back things you want to say or how you want to express your style. You are not meant to hold that back. And those urges that you are getting, like the visualizations you're having where your imagination's going, those are calling to you. People are not meant to be the exact same. And so if you show up to an event and your outfit doesn't match everybody else's, or, your makeup doesn't look the same way as everyone else's, that's okay. You're meant to be different. So learn to embrace your differences. And I think that differences, that's what sets us apart. And I've learned to appreciate, instead of wanting to, kind of be a wallflower, fly on the wall, blend in with the crowd, appreciate standing out. It's not a bad thing. Okay, and I just thought of another random tip for like people who don't like getting called on in class. Start volunteering to go first. Start volunteering to go first, and I promise it is game changer. I made this switch when I got to high school, okay? Middle school, I was so nervous. I would like pray that I did not get called on for anything, right? Presentations, I never wanted to have to go. And then when I got to high school, I think it was cheer, and that's another thing, is being a part of like a hobby or community sport team, something like that is really helpful for helping you meet people and step outside of your comfort zone, become more confident. But I finally, I don't know what switch flipped in my brain, but suddenly when I got to high school, I decided that I was going to start volunteering to go first for things. And like whether it's reading or presenting, I started volunteering to go first because I decided I wanted to be in control, if that makes sense. Because I know when like you don't volunteer to go first, it's usually a random pick or something like that. So I would raise my hand, volunteer to go first. One, the expectation is so much lower because you're the first one. There's no example to go off of, nothing to compare it to. Two, everyone else in the class is so fucking nervous. They're all shitting their pants right now because they're scared that they're going to get called on next, and who really wants to present? And even if they're not nervous, they're like definitely preparing something in their head, thinking about something. They're preoccupied. No one's listening to yours. No one's listening to yours. And if they are, they're like, oh shit, how am I going to follow that? Or like, how does this compare to mine? But no one's really actually listening to what you're saying, which is amazing. But yeah, I started doing that in high school, and it seriously helped me so much with my fear of presenting. Like, I am not scared to present anymore. I could talk to masses of people, which is crazy because I'm imagining like if I did a live podcast, there'd be like thousands of people there, which is so weird. Let me know if you guys want me to do anything like that though. That'd be so fun. I'd love to like talk live to people. But anyway, at the time it used to be something that I was terrified of. Like, imagine that. Here I am doing my podcast for hundreds of thousands of people to watch or listen to. And at one point I was afraid of public speaking. That's kind of hilarious and ironic, but that just goes to show there are no limits. Your insecurities and your fears do not limit you. It's all about how you perceive yourself, and let your confidence shine through. Let your confidence steer you. But anyway, yeah, I used to be so afraid, and then I decided to take matters into my own hands because it somehow felt better knowing that I was going to go first and just volunteer and get it over with, compared to like being so nervous like that someone's gonna call on me or whatever. And I don't know, that's just like a random little shy girl tip that I have, but I think it's really helpful, and it makes you appear really confident too. Like, oh, I'll go first, I know what I'm doing, but really you just don't want to get called on by surprise. But still counts. But overall, you guys, the less you worry about what others are thinking of you in your life, the easier it gets, and the more simple your life will be, and the more enjoyable it will be. Life is so much easier and more pleasant and peaceful when you're able to completely detach to that worry of what other people think of you. And I know it's way easier said than done, so I'm not saying just snap your fingers and like that it's over, but practice the little things. Practice improving your self-concept, talking to yourself like somebody you love. Practice detaching from that fear of what other people are thinking of you. When you're walking on the street, do something crazy, like compliment a stranger, dance, take a selfie, make a video, film an OOTD, ask a stranger a random question. Do something silly that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, and stop being afraid, because the longer you hold on to that fear of outside judgment, the lower your confidence will get and the more damaging it is to your self-concept. I know it's hard to believe, but being confident is truly just a mindset. Once again, it's not something that you're born with. It's something that is achieved over time based on how you view yourself and how you choose to practice confidence in your daily situations. And if all else fails, fake it till you make it, because no one else can tell the difference. All right, you guys, I believe that wraps up today's episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a like, leave a podcast review for the chance to be featured in next week's episode. Follow me on all my socials at Brianna Gomez with 2 B's, Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow at Hot Unbothered on Instagram and TikTok for more. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as follow Hot and Unbothered on Spotify, however you like to listen. Do not forget that my new matching set is available to purchase in its new colors for a limited time only. You can get 10% off if you buy both pieces, like the top and the skirt. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you next Bri-day. Bye. Mwah.